Hey guys, and welcome to another video. This is my third video and I'm going to be drawing anime today, or manga. I don't know too much about it, so I'm not sure the correct term, I'm not sure what the difference is, but here's my attempt at it nonetheless. So I started using some sort of construction lines there. Not everybody needs these, some people are good enough to, well, just draw the structure of the body without it. For me personally, it helped an awful lot, just to start sketching and then the body parts, slowly going into a bit more detail. This is the same way I've done it in my other videos. As far as I'm aware, this is how pretty much everybody draws anything, but I'm sure there are other techniques, but this is just the way that works for me. Once I have got the layer and some details sketched in, I switch to the big airbrush and start making it slightly finer and using it for basically fine lining the edges. Although this is something that I've had more difficulty with than anything else, using a tablet and drawing on Mypaint. It's not that I can't draw the lines, I can do them, but getting a clean, smooth line that's not pixelated, I find very difficult. So you'll see in this video what I've done for a lot of it is I've gone over the pencil line on another layer with the big airbrush tool, but I've still done it quite sketchy in the way that I've drawn it. But you will see me go over each line, making it thicker and thicker, and then using the eraser tool with a soft edge and just putting strokes alongside it, slowly closing it in until I've got a cleaner black line. It sounds a bit silly, hopefully you'll be able to see it in this video when it comes to it, although obviously it's sped up an awful lot. I think this drawing took me about 12 hours to do. I wasn't planning on it taking that long, but this is my first attempt at anime, and yeah, that's just how long it took me, I guess. So you can see here that I'm starting to neaten up some of the lines now. This is the bit that took me longer than anything. This is a really long process, partly because of how long it took me to draw how messy I drew the lines. If I'd have done them neat in the first place, if you can draw neat lines on a tablet without them being all scratchy like that, then you really have no need to neaten them up. It's just something that I haven't learnt to do very well yet, although I am still new to drawing on a graphics tablet, so who knows, maybe I'll get that in time. I was planning on speeding this up even more because, to be honest, it gets a bit boring seeing me neaten up lines. But if I sped it up anymore, it just seemed to go really laggy and just wasn't really viewable. And at this point, you can see I'm still going over the lines anyway, making them neater. I think I started then doing the hair on the top bit of the head, whereas this bit now is the sort of longer hair running down behind her body. I've drawn her with an awful lot of hair, which I regretted after it took me this long to do, but no, it worked out alright in the end. Whilst all these lines were raising, I will point out that this video is a two-parter. As I mentioned earlier, it took me an awful long time to do, and I could only speed it up so much without it losing its quality, going really laggy. So instead of one long video, I've split this down into two parts. The first one about 6 minutes, the second one 9 minutes. In this first one I've just shown you, as you've already seen, the sketching, getting the sort of baselines, the structure right, and then slowly adding detail, fine lining it, but I've stuck to black and white in this first one, and then in the second one we'll go into detail of colouring, using dark colours to shade, using another layer to shade, which works really well, and then just any final details. And this was a new experience for me. I didn't really know how it was going to turn out, and some things took a lot longer than others. You'll see that some bits I have to redo, go over. That's why it took me so long. But overall, it turned out pretty well, and I'm quite happy with it. So once I'd fine-lined the hair, I went on to the body, fine-lining that, neatening that up. Originally I was planning on actually colouring the hair once it had been outlined with the black, but it's not the most enjoyable part, isn't outlining it with black, especially when you've done it as rough as me and have to neaten it up. I mean, it took me hours and hours to go over neatening it up, and I was pretty damn fed up. But I thought, while I was on a roll, I'll get the body out of the way as well, instead of colouring the hair after that and then having to go back and do more fine lining. So I got almost all that out of the way while I could. The features that I used in terms of eyes and nose and mouth, hair type, eyebrows, it was all pretty random really. I mean, I had a quick search on Google, looked at some other anime and manga pictures, and there's an awful lot of different kinds of eyes and things. There's a lot of tutorials online as well of how to draw the eyes. They're all pretty different actually, but my selection was pretty random. I looked around, sort of made my own to a degree, and just found out what worked. The hair, I just sketched it all off the top of my head and just hoped that it worked out alright, but it did look alright, so... Right, and that should be how far we're up to now, and the next video will be me colouring it and adding shading. So see you in part 2.